Alright folks, got a good project for you today. It's hot as snot out there and the birds are eating. Well, you can kind of see them right there on the ground. Whole bunch of these babies. Okay, I got three tubs of those jokers from somebody in town, and I was helping her, and she's got a pear tree, and I was cleaning it up, and she's like, "Get him out of here," and I'm like, "Okie dokie." So we got a whole bunch of these things. Beautiful pears, beautiful. Now these are we went and selected all the bigger ones to make it easier for canning, but we're going to can this entire tub of them tomorrow. So got one of our boxes and some jars and some jars. So today is step one. Step one is sorting what we're going to use, and T's in the process of scrubbing. I'm helping scrub and getting the jars ready so that they can be ready for processing. So that's today. Today we're about halfway through prepping. I'm hoping 2 cases of pints and a case of quarts. Anyway, that's all we're going to work on today. We're getting ready to do these. It's going to be an amazing recipe. Honey, did you find that recipe, or did you invent that recipe?
No, I found it.
You found it? Alright, so it's going to be a honey vanilla recipe for the pears. You found it. Well, you found a good one because they're my favorite. Anyway, we'll be back with you here early tomorrow morning. Today is what?
Saturday the 14th.
Saturday the 14th. Tomorrow will be Sunday the 15th. And we're going to fill those babies. We'll catch you in the morning. Alright, it's morning time, Sunday morning. I don't know, was it almost 9? Beautiful day. Nice clear skies, except we did see some early morning streaks. They ain't done flying, but it's dissipating. I'm getting the feeling like there's something else that they're putting up here. But anyway, let's get on with what we do have to do. As you can see, I've got several cases of jars here prepared. I got the rings washed and cleaned. We got the jars washed and cleaned and prepped and staged here. Over here on our little cooking station, I've got the canning pot ready to go, and we'll be cooking the sugar honey water, and the canning will be done here on this outdoor workstation. Yeah, I think it's we're set up out here. We got most of the tools inside. Got the AC going. Try and keep it cool. It's hopefully one more week of summer, but we got to get to these before too long. So we had I picked three tubs of these, and I went through and I just sorted out the bigger ones that are easier to handle, and we're getting ready to prep those now. And T's gotten cleaned up and we're prepared here. A couple things that I want to share with you. You know, we live in subdivisions, or many people live in urban subdivisions, where people put in fruit trees, and they just stop harvesting. And I bet pretty much every one of you can think of a neighbor who has a fruit tree and just lets all their fruit drop. So if you're interested in potentially canning a huge batch of fruit, apples or pears or anything in your neighborhood, you know, we talk about getting our neighbors prepared and working with each other to try and have a community. A nice little break-in for maybe getting into discussions with your neighbors so that you start developing a community might be to go next door or down the street where there's a fruit tree and simply ask them, hey, I know you have a lot of trouble picking these things up in the fall because I've heard a lot of complaints, and that's why a lot of these fruit trees have been taken out over the last few years, is because they leave such a pile of fruit that it draws the yellow jackets because of the sugar in them, and people got to pay to clean them up because they're just not harvesting them. So maybe if you take the approach of, hey, let me ask my neighbor if he minds if I clean them, pick them, take them out of there, so that you can, that we can have them and process them, and in return, maybe you offer to bring them a couple of jars of your processed food, and as a gift or a thank you. Don't be afraid to ask neighbors to do that, because a lot of times they're going to go, whatever, have at it, have fun, and that's what I've done here. So I've got somebody I met in town that I'm going to be processing a bunch of these pears that came out of her backyard, and she was more than happy to let me take them because it saves them being picked up or going to waste, and she's happy for that. So there's a good idea. Give it a shot. We're getting along with getting prepared. One of the things I do want to share is we've got the older used lids. Now they'll tell you, and people have said, and they spread it around, that you're not supposed to reuse this. Well, we do. But here's the caveat. We need to inspect these things thoroughly before we decide whether we're going to. If you notice, this one's a new one, and you can see how the rubber in it is kind of flat through here, and this has got a divot from where it was sitting on the rim of the jar. These have been washed and inspected, and what we're going to do is go ahead and put them in our pan to sterilize them. She's scraping off a label there, but what we want to do is we want to make sure that there's no scratches whatsoever on the treated side on the inside. I don't care about the outside. If it gets a little surface rust or along the edges, that's not a big deal. What I'm concerned about is this area here, and this rubber. Once we sterilize these in the pot, this rubber will flatten back out to its original shape, and it will look just like that. So yes, we do use them. The other caveat to inspecting them and treating them again, or not treating, sterilizing them again, is the rubber is porous, and even this lining that they put on the metal to keep the metal from rusting is porous to an extent, and see, even T's, she's like smelling them. So what you don't want to do is, say, use a lid that you had on your pickles that smells very strong of dill, and for doing the pears or something, and vice versa. You want to kind of keep your lids in the same kind of category of food, so that you don't cross odors and stuff in it, because I do a lot of pasta sauces, and I wouldn't want my pears smelling like my oregano and basil and stuff. So we're getting these ready to go for our jars, and they'll all go in there and get sterilized, and we're working on getting ready to prepare the fruit. Now, we got so much that we got to do here that we're going to have to kind of work hard and fast. I'm not going to carry you along for the entire time, because this is going to take us a while to peel all those. I'll show you that here in a minute. But what we've got is one of our big salad bowl mixing bowls that we're going to use for holding the fruit in. And in order to keep it fresh, what we do is we put a little citric acid or lemon juice or lime juice, and this is one brand that we do like to use. They've changed it. It used to be that you didn't have the sodium benzoate in it. It used to just be lime juice. Now they put the sodium benzoate, which is a small amount. They didn't have any of these at the Wally World when we went there, so we did have to get this. And we do always read labels. And you can see this has got sodium metasulfite and sodium benzenate, if I can read that. Now try and get them. Now what we also could do, if it wasn't for the fact that we needed a bunch of it, we could get lemons or limes and just squeeze the juice in there. But the citric acid is there to help keep the fruit from browning while we're processing, because this is going to take us a while to go through and peel this. Alright, so let me show you how we're going to handle and process the fruit. I got a nice round one here. This is a good sized pear. What we're going to do is take a potato peeler, and then we're just going to quickly take off the outside. And you can see why I'm not going to video the whole process here. And then we'll get up here. I'm going to take a little paring knife for the pears. I'm going to slice the bottom off, and I'm going to slice the top off. That makes it easier for me to handle. So then I'm going to just, and this is all going to go either in a compost or it's going to go to my birds. My birds will eat this up. So I'm going to go straight down the middle, and then I'm going to quarter this thing. Once I get it quartered with the pear sitting on the table, I can core out the center of it by cutting a little square like that. You see that? Done. And then if this is a little bit thick right there, I might peel out that little bit of the seed pocket. Alright, there we go. Perfect. This is what we want. And then I'm going to go ahead and make these into smaller pieces, and then we'll throw them right directly into our lime water. So very quickly we're going to core these. Let's see. Cut that like that so I can get the hard stemmy part out. That one's pretty decent. And then that works good. And then we'll quarter this. So the flat spot helps you hold it. If it's round, it wants to roll around. Helps give you some control. But you want to cut away from your hands and to the wood. Be safe. Don't do that. And then, come on, flip up here. The little flat spot helps you take it. Yep, that looks good. I got the seed pocket out. And there you go. Alright, we are well into it. And that's a big bowl, folks. It's a really big bowl. And we've got quite a bit done, and you can see the pile of trimmings, and we really haven't put a big dent in this. We still got a lot more to do, but I've got enough here that we want to start processing. So T's digging out some pots so that we can start mixing our sugar water ingredients. I'll give you it. Oh, come on off of there. Quick look at that. And there you go. That's the recipe that we're using. And so we're using some vanilla that we've had for some time stored up. You can tell by the dust that's on it. That stuff will keep almost forever. But we were stocking that stuff up for a long time ago, and it's amazing how much the price of that has gone up. It's incredible. That stuff is unbelievable. We used to get them, I remember, for as little as, I think it was about $11 or $12 a bottle. Now they're like over 30. No, there's no inflation. Anyway, one of the things I did forget to tell you was just how much lemon juice to put in it if it's a small batch. And this is probably, I a double batch what we got here. I'm thinking we got close to 36. We measured it out. So 3 of these pears were about a pound when I weighed them on our little scale. And so that would be about 18 of these. We're probably through about 36 of them. So we've got about a double batch here. Probably going to do 8 to 10 times that batch, or what's in this recipe, and I'll show you that here in a second. I've got a lot of water here that needs to have it, so I've literally put about that much of the lemon juice in it. So you're probably talking as much as 4 or 5 lemons at least that I've gone in to have the volume for the amount of pears that I'm going to be running through here. So a good amount of juice that's been put in here so that you can have a high acid content. So we're going to work on getting this together and processing a batch of them as I continue to go through and peel, core, and chunk up into pieces. So there you go. We're only, oh my God, maybe 25% through the amount of pears that we're hoping to process today. We'll see how that goes. T's going to take an entire, what is it? It's not a half gallon. Let's see, a gallon's
180 ounces.
64. Yeah, it's more than a half gallon. So she's taking an entire one of those and we're going to dump it in there. Oh my goodness, look at all that honey. Anyway, back to peeling, coring, and chopping up. We'll catch back with you in a bit. Alright, it's hot out here. Alright, so we got our jars out here. We're going to get started packing some of these. And so we're going to take them out.
Pack them tight.
Here, you go for it.
Pack them
Oops. Pack them. Pack them, pack them, pack them. Like such. That's fine, we'll shake them in there. Just keep going in there. Here. There you go. Now throw a couple in there. There we go. There we go. Pack tight. Now, we get the funnel. She's going to take...
They do keep it hot.
Huh?
I said this is very hot, so...
Alright, let me put it up here. Yeah, so that's above the boiling point.
I'm just going to make sure we don't have any air bubbles.
Ooh, you can smell it too. The vanilla is strong. There won't be any air. Oh, that's plenty good. And then we're going to take this and grab a lid. Careful, and then we'll careful. All right, snugger. There. Now let's set it aside, and we're going to keep on going. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to work this down and get as many of these going in here. And oh shit, there's no water in there. All right, we're going to sit there and bake that thing. All right, we got to get going. We'll be back. Birds are crazy. They're flying all over. Anyway, I don't know if you can see it, but the turkeys right here, they're all gobbling up those trimmings from the pears. Alright, so we've just gone through our second full bowl. T's in the process of capping off these last few of them. We've got... Whew, oh, that's hot. Rolling boil on those. I'm not going to quite finish it. Looks like we're going to end up about a gallon short of what I was hoping for. We got 4 jars left, but she's filling up the last few of these. So what we're going to end up with is, let's see, we had extra, well, let's just look at this. 6, 8, there's a gallon. 6, 8, there's a gallon. 4, 2 gallons, 3 gallons, and a quart. And what do we got in here? There's a gallon and a quart. That's 2.5 How did I do this? All right, I lost count. 1 gallon, 2 gallons, 3 gallons, 4 gallons, and a quart. 4 1/4, 5 1/4, 2 quarts, 3 quarts, almost 6 gallons of Pears. Almost 6 gallons. So I'm about a gallon shy of what we were hoping for, because we are wore out. We did not finish this tub. Let me go in here with AC is going. We still have that many in there. And again, almost another box full. So that's it, folks. So we're processing these things for about 10 minutes or so. 10 to 15 minutes. Still got some more honey mix going. And I think that's just honey and a little bit of vanilla and some water. So I think we're going to mix that down, what's left after she's done. We're going to mix that down with some sugar water to do one of our last feedings for our girls there, and there. So yeah, probably be enough for, I don't know. I don't think there's enough liquid left in there to finish those, even if we peeled and sliced some more. But we're there, folks. That's a long day. That's our recipe that we like to use. And as you can see, this is called putting away a lot of food. All right. It's hot out here, folks. I mean, it's like 97, 98 out here, and we're homesteading it. This is what you got to do to put the food away for a long period of time. So you got to do multiple batches like this. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy. Maybe you'll try doing this yourself. Oh, I got one last thing to say. So I got a comment on one of my other videos about why don't I just put up recipes, and I tried to put up recipes, but I show you the recipe, and the more important thing that we don't do anymore is write down our own recipes, and they need to be modified, tweaked, or worked on based on our personal preferences. So one of the reasons I just show you what I'm doing is so that maybe you can start from scratch. Write down the recipe, try it, tweak it to the way you want, and then literally write it down into a book. Because I have a book of recipes that every time we do one of these that we've looked up online, we basically tweak it to our own. So we'll replace ingredients with those that are more natural. Like a lot of our baking stuff, we won't use lard or Crisco or any of those things. So we rewrite our recipes based on the ingredients that we know are better for us. So anyway, folks, look at that. Oh, if you could only smell what we're smelling. Ooh, they're popping. Pop, pop. Alright, I figured I'd do one quick wrap up on this thing. So this is it. We just finished taking the hose and hosing them down. We had one of the jars popped, and that happens from time to time. Jar broke and all the sugar water came out, as well as the Pears, and it went in through the processing water. So we wanted to give everything a good rinse off. As you can see, the rings are off and everything's sealed up pretty good, very nice. But we do want to let everything dry. So we washed it off, hosed it down to get the sticky sugar water off of everything, and there you go. Not bad for a day's work, don't you think? Not bad. So what?
And we gotta say,
our
syrup water is doing great with our.
Yeah, so let's go take a look here. I gave the extra honey to the girls, honey water, honey and vanilla, and we have them feeding they're enjoying it. They are truly enjoying their treat. So we all have some fun with that. So I hope you try it, enjoy that, and know that we can make huge amounts of food for ourselves if we want to. Anyway, take care. That's it. We'll catch you later.